Okay, we're back. Last time we kind of hastily went through Orc. I think I was a little bit distracted when I was doing that video. But this time we'll be going to Swamp. Because we've cleared out Dungeon, we've cleared out Orc, of course we've cleared out Lair, and so this is generally where we go into a Lair branch. I'm going to try to melee this thing to death. And power leap, and it dies. Hydras are still a bit of a problem, which of course is not great, since we've got, we've got our 100 hit points. What to do here? I think sticks to snakes. Oh, geez. Well, that's slowed now, so we can probably... This is a little much. Actually, no, I am not. I'm playing really risky. This bog body could bolt of cold me at any moment, and I would be dead, because I'm vulnerable as a dragon. I wasn't paying enough attention. Thankfully, that didn't happen, so let's just go ahead and clear this right now with an apocalypse. Now, was that smart? Maybe not. See, the problem is that we did just make a lot of noise. So it's going to lure a lot of things to the staircase. But we had to kill the bog body. Looks like not too much came though, so we're okay. Just, that certainly could have been worse. Now, the deep water in this place is going to be less of a problem than usual because we can fly. And also, as a minor bonus, when we use our breath, like that, on the water, we get steam clouds. Now, steam clouds don't do like a ton of damage at this point in the game, but it's something. Okay, you know what we're going to do? We're going to do this. So the bog body, if he tries to bolt of cold us, he can't, because there's a cloud of flame in the way. So now we have a chance to confuse him. Oh, geez. Okay, that works slightly differently than I thought it did. I thought that if he bolted me and he was either in it or across from it, he would not be able to do it. But apparently if he's in it, that's not good enough. Oh, geez. Let's just swing on him and finish him off. We could have died there. But that's cool. We learned something. It's been a while since I've used that tactic. So, something to keep in mind. One thing we need to remember is that we can confusing touch in dragon form, which is, of course, very good. Confusing touch is awesome in general. So, we want to try to remember that that's an option. Let's walk away from this guy. Okay. Now the real question is, do we even want to be in dragon form when we fight this thing? And I'm going to say that the hit points probably counterbalances the vulnerability. I mean, I could do the math on this. We get, I don't know, 40 hit points from turning into a dragon. And vulnerability is like, I think, half again as much damage, if I'm remembering correctly. And Bolt of Cold from the bog body, it says it does 3d14. So, roughly 45 damage. So yeah, we have more hit points than the extra 20-some damage that I would get from being breath is not available. I should definitely be confusing him. There we go. But yeah, I do believe that the hit points are superfluous. As long as we're only talking about one bolt of cold. Once he starts bolting us more than once, then it starts to edge it out in terms of, like, what's better, having the extra 40 hit points or not being vulnerable to cold. Whoa, hey, I'm messing up. Okay, well that was a very bad time to... that was a very bad time to end up as a cat. So let's do that. That's not quite good enough. We want to put a couple turns between us and him, so I'm going to have to use the Scroll of Blinking. Go Dragon Form, confuse, confuse, confuse? Good. Wow, he just doesn't want to die. Let's bolt him. Jeez, he is... Wait, did he not? Oh, that was silly. I wasn't looking at the log. I redirected the attack. I didn't confuse him. I thought that I successfully confused. Jeez. What to do? Sadly, I think I need to blow another Blink Scroll. That's actually very bad. We just very badly faulted. Very badly faulted, and what we should have done is not end up in a situation where we had to use 2 Blink Scrolls. That was unbelievably bad. We didn't lose a life, so there's that, but certainly could have turned out better. But yeah, there's an extra use of Conjure Flame as a defensive measure against bolts of cold. You can use that against ice dragons. You can use that against, of course, the bog bodies like we are. Anything else that does bolt of cold, I guess, elf mages. Guardian Spirit. I'm really tempted to wear Guardian Spirit because that's like a lot of extra hit points. And of course, we need extra hit points really badly as a Felid. The only reason I'm reticent is I don't want to end up in a situation where I can't cast and I need to. With that being said, I think it's the optimal move, so I will do it. Jeez. When they put on the burst of speed, these things are very fast. Let's just kill them with the power leap. Now we'll go up and we'll rest. Try to take out this Hydra. Let's put some flames up. Darn, he's going to be next to us now when we go down, probably. That's okay. Let's just see if we can kill it. Power leap should finish it. Yeah, there we go. I still don't feel super comfortable meleeing those guys. Like a 7-headed one could still technically kill us in one hit if it rolled well enough. It's not likely, but do I want to roll the dice? Not really. It's just that there's not we don't really have a Hydra killing option right now that's totally safe, which doesn't involve me, sorry about that, there's a ambulance or something outside. Yeah, there's not like a Hydra killing option on the table right now, which doesn't involve me tearing my hair out. Because, like, the safest Hydra killing option on the table is, like, kite it and conjure flames, which it may or may not walk into them, I think. Or there's confuse and conjure flames, and then it really, really might not walk into them. And I would normally be willing to kite and conjure flames, but it's really kind of a crapshoot in here because, well, of course, hydras move insanely quickly through the water. So, actually kiting for any long period of time... Oh hey, Undead Hunter. It's a very good Great Mace if you ever have the opportunity to use it. But yeah, I'm more inclined to just kind of melee them a little bit and finish them off with a power leap. I'm not saying that's totally optimal, but you'll see me, you know, even on a Felid, maybe especially on a Felid, you'll see me doing things that are a little bit suboptimal. If I have 2 extra lives, because it's like the absolute worst case scenario is I lose a life. This is not great. Yeah, this is not great here, but I think I can just fight my way through it. What's the range on Bolt of Cold? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he's almost in range. But he won't bolt through all this stuff. Let's just pull this stuff up and kill what follows. I mean, in dragon form, we can pretty much whack anything and kill it. But I'm telling you what I would really, really like to have. What I'd really like to have is stat form. Now, our transmutations has gone to 20. Let's swap over to spellcasting. We'll just do spellcasting, fighting, unarmed, and dodging for a while. That'll allow us to get extra mana, which effectively is extra hit points because of the Guardian Spirit Amulet. And by the way, you'll notice I specifically killed the Swamp Drake first because when this guy dies, he gives like a might buff to all the animals around him. So we just stop that from happening. Just try to take out this bog body once we have it confused. So, on the same note, by the way, as the Conjure Flame trick, technically you could do the same thing with cold, but it's a lot harder to make cold clouds. Because obviously you would need to have you would need to either Bolt of Cold over some ice, or you would need to use Freezing Cloud itself, and those are both relatively high-level spells, 5 or 6. So water isn't necessarily going to be available. Let's power leap. Yeah, so water isn't necessarily going to be available, so that leaves Freezing Cloud. I can't think of anything else off the top of my head that creates cold clouds. So if you try to use it against the most obvious thing you would think of when it comes to fire, which is Orbs of Fire, I mean, it's like, sure, if you happen to have that available, fine. but you probably don't. Uh-oh, we turned out of being a dragon as soon as we... Jeez. I guess because I don't have our poise up, I guess I'll just transform real fast. And I'll swing. Cool, we got him. Yeah, we definitely want to have our poison up if we're in the Swamp Drake breath. We don't want to be confused next to a Hydra. Whoa, hello. Moving too fast. That is the real Jorgrun. Not the... Well, I was going to say not the cursor, but it looks like the server JGR stopped doing that. Used to be that the cursor was Jorgrun. Okay, he still has a chance to petrify us, and he, of course, can shatter, but not for a ton of damage because we're flying. Let's go ahead and just take it to the staircase. Time Release doing some damage to me. We'll Power Leap to speed up this process. And we'll rest up. That's a fight that we really should probably try to take at full strength. Okay, got this Bog Body. We'll do the usual confuse from behind a Conjure Cloud. But yeah, the cloud tricks are nice, just like I was saying, not terribly useful against an Orb of Fire since it's just launching flame at you over and over super fast. But you could try it. Probably would be okay. Couldn't hurt anyway. Alright, so we've got this guy. His MR is too high for us to really effectively confuse him. So we're going to put up Confusing Touch, and we're going to make snakes. And he's going to, of course, if he... of course he can shatter our snakes, but we're flying, so we're not too afraid of shatter. Let's just hit him. Hopefully the touch... Yep, we touch him. We don't do any damage, but we still confuse him. So the cool thing about Confusing Touch, it doesn't care if something has a lot of MR. I believe it's based on hit die or something. So, you know, we just solved a problem that otherwise might have been difficult. I don't think we would have had too much trouble, though. Dragon Form, of course, would chew through him pretty fast. But Confusing Touch is amazing. I think it has a chance of working against anything, regardless of the hit die. Like, even if it was, like... I feel like it can even work on Orbs of Fire. It's just a lower chance, or it doesn't last very long or something, but, I mean, why not? Keep it up, you know, and just keep it up, and you get maybe, even if you only get like a turn of the enemy being confused, I mean, that's worth it. It's good enough for me. Yeah. So we're gonna make some fire here. Now we've got a Thorn Hunter. That's something we definitely do not want to fight. Well, not when other stuff is around. On the other hand, the other stuff is keeping it from blasting us. Let me see how much damage he does. Does it not say? Am I missing something? 3d18. 60 damage. That's less than I thought. For some reason I thought he could do like 100 damage. Okay, cool. Well, in that case we can go toe-to-toe with him a bit. Let's hit him with the blast. Surely that didn't kill him. Didn't really say if it hit him or not. I guess we got vision blocked by the steam. Says he was engulfed in steam. Didn't do much damage. It's unfortunate because Thorn Hunters are susceptible to fire. Let's just pull up to the next floor and reset by going to another staircase. This is a branch end, so let's not pretend that it's not going to be challenging. It certainly will be, especially since we're a Felid. But we have hit the stride here, so certainly could be worse. Oh, I hate ghost crabs. Ghost crabs are like my nemesis. The thing is, they can make all kinds of spectral enemies, and they're making them right next to you. So it's kind of like one of the reasons why iron giants are so scary is that they can just toss things next to you. Well, ghost crabs can just make spectral hydras appear next to you, so treat those things as a top tier threat, even though a lot of the time you'll just swing and they'll die. I think I've seen at least 2 thorn hunters here. I don't know if it was the same thorn hunter or not. That's, of course, another top tier threat. Pull these things up. We'll... okay, so Spriggans and Spriggan Riders both have high EV. That's one of the reasons I love to use Power Leap, which just doesn't care about EV. It just does the damage. These are some very contested staircases, so unfortunately we're going to be doing this a lot. Okay, see, it blocked for us, so we'll replace our little fire shield. And now we're going to walk through our own flame because we have 2 fire resistance, and we've got to clear out these bog bodies. Alright, now what to do about this guy? We're going to go right into the maw of it. Hopefully don't take too much damage. We'll use the flame. Says he's burned terribly, but it doesn't look like he took too much damage to me. And we're just going to swing. And worst case scenario, we can like Apocalypse or something, but he's almost dead. So we're going to, because melee is a bit unreliable, but Power Leap is very reliable, finish him off with the Power Leap. And that's something you'll see me doing a lot. I really love the fact that Power Leap gives you this very, very reliable way of finishing off monsters. It's one of the lesser known uses of it, I think. I think most people see it as more of an escape option. And it is, it's great. It, especially on a character that doesn't have running built in. Power Leap, I mean, geez, if you want to very, very quickly have access to an ability that lets you put distance between you and another speed 10 monster, Power Leap's the way to go. It's awesome. That's one of the reasons I recommend Rue, or I would recommend Rue to newer players, assuming you can learn to live with some of the sacrifices. Because, you know, outside of, well, let's think about this. The usual options that you would use to escape, like let's say you're like a new player and you're trying to figure out, how do I get away from this ogre that's next to me? Oh my god, I'm screwed. Well, there's the obvious option of Blink, which you may or may not have found. That one could put you next to the ogre again, so that's not guaranteed. There's Swiftness, which again, as a spell, you may or may not have found it if you didn't start with a book that has it. That one comes with a pretty heavy downside, where you end up slow for a while after it, so you better know how to use it right, and even if you do, you might just kind of get unlucky or not be near a staircase and sort of screw yourself a bit. So those 2 options are off the table in terms of guaranteeing your escape, although Swiftness is pretty good. Better than Blink, in my opinion. After that, you jump up 2 spell levels, and there's Pog, which you can't start with that. I don't think there's any book that starts with that. Maybe Warper, I guess. Yeah, Warper starts with that, I think. But that's another spell that may or may not show up, and now it's level 4. Whereas Rue is a repeatable, you know, after some exhaustion, it's a repeatable, no cost, other than like 5 mana, option, and he gives it to you relatively quickly at like, I think it's 3 star piety? Maybe it's 4. Yeah. But yeah, if you just use the high piety sacrifices, you get it pretty fast. So give it a shot if you have trouble getting away from monsters. If you end up next to like a hydra or a 2-headed ogre and you don't know what to do, Rue gives you an answer for that. Anyway, off my Rue soapbox. We're very happy to see Roxanne, because Roxanne always has a book on her which has statue form, and so we're about to go into turbo mode. Statue form is going to be what we rely on for the rest of the game to essentially be awesome. Crystal Spear. So she can do 90 damage to us. We're going to Apocalypse. Okay. Roxanne falters for a moment. Good. So I wish she was paralyzed. She's not. Instead, she is... Instead, she got anti-magic, which is not terrible. Let's swing on her. Wow. I'm going to make snakes just to create some stuff in between me and these enemies. Really want to kill Roxanne. Unfortunately, she's resistant to energy, so it's not like breathing on her would be very good. Iron Shot would be nice if we had bothered to get good at it. Wow, she does not want to die. What to do? We could take a lot of damage here. Let's go ahead and use the Scroll of Summoning. Put some stuff in between us and the enemies, and make some more snakes. This isn't so bad. Wow, that thorns. Jeez, I guess we're gonna have to leave. I would like to drink a potion, but guess what? Minus potion. Make more snakes. We've got enough material in between us and the Thorn Hunter now that he probably isn't going to be able to cause us a problem. But of course, he could. Okay, Roxanne died thanks to the Hydra that we got from Scroll of Summoning. Scroll of Summoning is very good. Summon Hydra would be... I mean, that's actually a spell, a very good spell in my opinion, which is level 7. So we essentially got a level 7 spell out of that scroll. Well, I guess technically it's just shadow creatures. I believe it uses the same code. Alright, so sometimes this will be an artifact book. With a unique set of spells that's like a bunch of earth stuff. Sometimes it'll be a set book, like Book of Transfigurations. But what's guaranteed is that it is going to have statue form. So we have statue form. Is there anything we can amnesia off right now that we're not using? I want to keep ice form. I'm not using animate dead right now, although I would like to be. You know, just so I can immediately have staff form, I am going to amnesia off Iron Shot, but we'll come back to it. Oh, whoops! I'm trying to memorize things that I'm still in combat. Let's be a little more careful. Oh, jeez. Alright, I'm getting out of here. So I can memorize staff form. And we're gonna go up. We're gonna memorize, statue form. Put that on. Trying to find a letter we haven't used. I guess F? Sure. F for form. And we'll train nothing but earth magic. Our transmutations is 20, our earth is only 1.3, so we'll pump that up pretty fast. I don't want to use it until it's off the red drain. Or sorry, the red fail rate. Earth miscasts are pretty nasty. Ooh, gotta be careful around these big slimes. Oh geez, that's Titanic. Okay, he's confused now. Playing a very dangerous game here. He could certainly do 110 damage to us. But we can keep him confused indefinitely. Here's confused. Awesome. Okay. Usual strategy against the bog body. Wow, 3 confuses were not good enough. One downside to Amulet of Guardian Spirit, by the way, is we'll take lots of damage, and then we'll have no mana to use Apocalypse. So I may want to take that off at some point. I'm going to try to swing on this, though. And it works out for me. Geez, lots and lots of hydras here, and we have to remember that in the water, they move very quickly. So we're going to go up. That could have been better. We don't want to fight 3 hydras at the same time. However, we're down to 13% on our staff form, so why don't we go ahead and cast it. Now we're doing my favorite thing. I'm a little stone kitty, and I do tons and tons of damage with my stone claws. I take almost no damage because I have insane GDR, 26 AC, and on top of that, I don't really lose much EV. So I'm like one-shotting hydras, assuming I roll decently. And I just couldn't have a care in the world about what I'm doing. Just can tab into this stuff. Assuming that I don't keep missing. Let's just Power Leap to finish him off. It is really satisfying having Power Leap. Just because being able to finish things off that are refusing to die when your melee just won't work out for you, really, really, really good. Highly recommend it. That's the thing that's actually the reason why, you know, when I started playing this game, like most people, I started with melee. And my first thought was, like, why wouldn't I play anything but melee? These casters suck, you die so easily, you're such a glass cannon, so on and so forth. And I'm the guy who usually plays mages in games, but it was very frustrating for me when I first started, because it just felt like melee was so much insanely better in this game. And I think that's an easy trap to fall into. But the fact is, casting is actually much better than melee now. That's what I think. That's my opinion now. Because spells are just, there's ways to, if you select the right spells, your stuff is going to be more reliable. Oh wow, this is too much. Unfortunately, we're rather slow as a stone kitty. Okay, this is not so good. Well, we tried to conjure flame, it didn't quite work for us. Swing. Swing. Well, I was going to Apocalypse, but I didn't have the mana, so I'll just power jump over here. Okay, we'll go back into statue form. I need to remember that that's the F key. Because I'm going to end up, like, confusing touching or sticks to snaking if I'm not paying enough attention. Power Leap to finish off the Hydra. Now, let me see. I'm not sure what my GDR is in statue form. Let's check real fast. Of course it does make us slower, so that's something to keep in mind. Does it not say in the beam entry? It gives plate armor GDR, so it's like we have plate on. So that's pretty good. Unfortunately, GDR doesn't do anything against Volley of Thorns as far as I know, so we could die from this guy at any moment. It's just very unlikely. let's go ahead and swing on him. We really just have to hit him like a couple more times. Oh man, come on. There we go. Our ability to reset fights is not great right now. Because of course if we're in stat form, if you look at our stats, we lose running, and of course we're actually slower than even a speed 10 creature at walking because of the slowdown that is incurred from stat form. So yeah, our ability to reset fights is not great. However, our ability to reset fights without transforming or using resources is not great. What I'd really like to find is Passage of Galubria. As usual, you know what? I'm gonna change this for S for statue form. I just know I'm gonna make this mistake, and we'll put snakes on K. But yeah, as usual, having Pog would make this character a lot better. And of course we get less of a hit point boost in stat form than dragon form, but believe me, stat form is your defensive option. I mean, it's got everything really. It's defensive, it's offensive, it's just straight up. For anything other than fire resistance, my opinion is that stat form is superior to dragon form. I mean, technically, if you want to get into the specifics, raw damage, dragon form's better. That's the fact. But the reality of the situation is that you would rather not get one-shotted by something. Dragon form EV sucks. Dragon form AC is okay at best, unless you're a draconian. And even then, it's not, like, amazing. Whereas... Oh, I think I'll take Corpse Rot. It's a little bit late in the game for this, but certainly a very good spell. Okay, we got our first rune. Wow. That Shambling Mangrove is really pulling the damage out. Now, because of these hornets, I'm going to cast sticks to snakes. I don't want to be next to these guys. Unfortunately, they're next to me, so I'm going to Apocalypse. The reason, of course, is that I don't want to be paralyzed. Being paralyzed is not good. The drain is a bit of a problem because it really does wreck our ability to cast. But we're training nothing but Earth, so even with the drain, we're skyrocketing our ability to cast as time goes on. We wouldn't be having a castability problem at all if we didn't have the minus whiz, probably, but that is the sacrifice that we made in order to get piety and power. And it was worth it, because Rue is awesome. Alright, so we'll go to Snake next. That's in layer 4, just like this place. So yeah, next video, we'll hit up Snake. Stat form is going to be awesome in there, because electricity, we have resistance to electricity, so the shock serpents are not a problem. We have straight up immunity to poison, so we can't be hit by OTR or any of the stuff in there. So our main problems in there is just raw damage from Nagarajas, fire damage from salamanders, getting surrounded by guardian snakes, and most importantly, we're going to have to deal with Constrict, which at 6 strength, we're not having a good time with Constrict. So I may actually put some points into strength, come to think of it, strictly because if I do 15 runes with this, I'm going to have to suffer some stat loss. So Okay, hope you guys enjoyed. Next time we go into Snake. Until then.